Alright, my night god people. What if I told you that the only person who ever went to prison over the CIA's torture program wasn't someone who tortured anyone? What if I told you he didn't leak classified documents, he didn't sell secrets, and he didn't defect to a foreign country? All he did was confirm something the world had already strongly suspected, and for that single act, he lost his career, his freedom, and nearly the life he had spent decades building. This is the story of John Kiriakou, the CIA officer who told the truth and paid the price. John Kiriakou was not a rogue agent. He wasn't disgruntled, he wasn't an outsider, and he wasn't someone on the fringe of the intelligence community. He was a CIA counterterrorism officer, working at the heart of post 9/11 operations. He served overseas. He hunted high-value al-Qaeda targets. He worked inside classified programs that shaped U.S. foreign policy during the War on Terror. He was trusted. And like many people inside the intelligence apparatus after 9/11, he was eventually exposed to something the American public was never meant to see. A secret interrogation program, authorized at the highest levels of government, designed not to gather information through questioning, but through pain. In 2007, John appeared on ABC News. He did not reveal classified locations. He did not publish secret documents. He didn't name any active assets. Instead, he confirmed one simple fact, a sentence that would permanently alter his life forever. Yes, the CIA used waterboarding. At the time, the U.S. government was still publicly insisting that torture was not taking place. Legal euphemisms were used, words like enhanced interrogation, but the denial was firm. John's statement shattered that denial, and once that truth was spoken out loud, there was no way to put it back. Here's where the story takes a darker turn. No CIA director was charged, no policymakers were prosecuted, no architects of the torture program faced prison. No one who designed it, no one who approved it, no one who carried it out. Instead, the full force of the U.S. government came down on the man who confirmed that the torture was taking place. Kiriakou was charged under the Espionage Act, not for torture, not for abuse, but for allegedly confirming the identity of a CIA officer to a journalist. He eventually accepted a plea deal, one count, his sentence, 30 months in federal prison. Let that sink in. The only person to go to prison over the CIA's torture program was the man who exposed it. But prison wasn't the only thing he lost. He lost his security clearance, his career in intelligence, his pension, reputation, and years of his life that could never be returned. But perhaps more important than what he lost was the message his punishment sent. Inside the intelligence community, the warning was unmistakable. If you speak even truthfully, you will be destroyed. This wasn't justice, it was deterrence, a warning shot meant to echo far beyond one man. Years later, something unexpected happened. John reemerged not through mainstream media, but through podcasts, YouTube interviews, independent journalism, and short viral clips. And people didn't see a radical. They saw a calm, measured insider saying something deeply unsettling. If you expose the wrongdoing, the system will protect itself, not you. In an era defined by whistleblowers, leaks, and collapsing trust in institutions, his story resonated. Not because it was dramatic, but because it felt familiar. So his story leaves us with one question that can't be ignored. If the truth is illegal and silence is rewarded, what does that say about the system? John never claimed to be a hero. He didn't flee the country. He didn't hide. He told the truth and stayed exactly where he was while the consequences came. John didn't expose the CIA to tear it down. He did it because he believed the public deserved to know what was being done in its name. And history may remember this lesson. Not everyone who breaks the law is a criminal, and not everyone who follows it is innocent. So that being said, that's the gentleman that you've been seeing go viral all over your TikTok, all over your YouTube. He is literally everywhere. And he's kind of taking the internet by storm. Why hasn't this been done before? Why is this the first time we've ever heard any firsthand accounts from a legitimate CIA agent? whether retired, disgruntled. It's pretty surprising to me that he's able to come out and tell all these stories. Well, it turns out that all of the stories he is telling is actually already public information. He can say it for that reason only. There was no NDA or anything like that. He is just telling you stories that are already open to the public. Some of them have names redacted. Other times he can say names. It just depends. He knows which ones are which. But nevertheless, it's a fascinating look inside one of the most secretive and discreet agencies, if not the most, on the planet. Probably aside from like Mossad. So I have a few of his videos on deck, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys some insight on who this man was, what he was about, where he came from, and how or why. And it turns out he was the first person to publicly share that, yes, the CIA was waterboarding its prisoners to gather or extract information. And he goes on to tell us that there's actually much worse being done than that. So that's going to be the beginning of our episode today. Then I'm going to roll it into more clips as always. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, because some secrets are about to be revealed. Was going to start by explaining exactly what's going on in these videos, but I'm just going to play them because they need no introduction. Check it out. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
5 minutes later, he knocks on 5:15. I said, "Come in." He comes in. I come out of the bathroom. I tackle him. Our liaison partners and our security guys bust in from the side room. I have him pinned down. And he's like, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar." And he says, "I'll you." And I said,
"Motherfucker, you think I'm so stupid
that I didn't know you came here to kill me tonight? Do you think I'm so unprofessional that I don't know that you're a double agent?"
I said, "You're the stupid one.
You're the stupid one
Because your life is over now. Over."
Allahu Akbar, he kept saying.
I said, "Yeah, keep telling yourself that. See how far that gets you."
We've gone viral in the last week or so, especially on TikTok.
I don't know how these things
Totally.
happen. They just happen.
But things have gotten kind of crazy. There's even a hashtag, CIA John, which I guess is my nickname now on TikTok. I welcome it. I embrace it.
This happened literally overnight.
And it's funny, most of it came from an interview that I gave to Stephen Bartlett on the podcast Diary of a CEO. I almost didn't do that podcast. They called me on a Friday night and said that they were calling from Diary of a CEO. I said, "Oh, I love that podcast. I watch it all the time," which of course is true. And they said they just had a last minute cancellation, and could I fly to Los Angeles the first thing Saturday morning, the next morning? And I said, "You know what? This is the first weekend in months that I don't have anything planned." I said, "Sure, why not? I'll fly to Los Angeles tomorrow morning." Went to the airport, flew out, did the podcast, went right back to the airport, took the overnight, the red-eye flight back to Washington.
I actually looked at the podcast a couple of days ago, and we're up to 5.5 million views.
But young people have taken that interview, and they've cut it up into clips and memes, and they give me, the Alvin and the Chipmunks voice, or
the ogre's voice like this in slow motion.
And it was all in good fun. And then it turned out there was an article at an outlet called complex.com entitled "Whistleblower Becomes TikTok Sensation with Frequently Shocking, Sometimes Hilarious CIA Insight. A former CIA officer and Bush-era whistleblower is blowing up on TikTok." It's the craziest doggone thing. I mentioned to our engineer, Chris Arnone, that one of the mistakes that I made in my own mind was thinking that, I'm just repeating the same stories over and over and over for the last 19 years. That's not actually true. And it's because in my own mind, the audience never changes. And of course, the reality is the audience changes every single day. And there were people who weren't even born yet when I blew the whistle, or who were not born yet when 9/11 happened, who are just learning who I am. They're just learning about these issues that we're talking about. And so the thing has taken on a life of its own.
Absolutely has. It's been insane. It's been insane. He just came out of nowhere. And I am a huge
What made you
fan
decide
of his work.
to blow the whistle? It's very brave. Thank you. As At the CIA, we are trained to believe that everything in life is a shade of gray. And that is just simply not true. Some things are black and white. They're right or wrong. And the United States has laws that ban torture. We have the Federal Torture Act of 1946. We are not just signatories to the United Nations Convention Against Torture. We wrote the United Nations Convention Against Torture. In 1946,
Of course we did.
the United States executed Japanese soldiers who waterboarded American POWs. In 1968, an American soldier waterboarded a North Vietnamese prisoner and was given 20 years at hard labor in a military prison after being convicted of torture.
Wow.
The law never changed. So how is it then that from 2002 to 2005, torture was somehow magically legal? It wasn't legal. We were committing crimes against humanity. And so it was something that I having known the details, I couldn't sleep at night. And I believed, and in retrospect, I was right, that the American people had a right to know what their government was doing in their name. And I'm proud to say that because of my revelations, the McCain-Feinstein Amendment was passed into law, and it formally and permanently...
So I'm curious on y'all's opinions on that. For one, do you believe they've actually stopped torturing their prisoners? I find it hard to believe that they've actually stopped doing any type of hardcore interrogation. Also, I guess, on that same note, is it a necessary evil? Do you guys believe that to a degree to get information that would save American lives or innocent lives for that matter, is it a necessary evil to use somewhat unethical tactics to extract or extrapolate information from these prisoners? Also, what's your view on him in general? Do you believe that he committed treason by saying what he said on ABC? Do you believe that he should be accused or should have served the jail time he served because of what he said and how he kind of laid out our own governmental, skeletons, if you will, on what's going on with the CIA and how they're going about their business. For, what did he say, 2002 to 2005? That would have been like the Iraq War era. So, that's about when it was taking place. I don't know. I like the guy. Ultimately, I think he is doing an awesome thing by sharing these amazing stories with us. Personally, did he do the right thing? I mean, that's all perspective, I suppose. So, but let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Yeah, let me start by saying it was not an inside job. It was not the Bush family. It was not the Al Saud family. It was not the space aliens or the lizard people or the Jews. It was Al Qaeda. Number one.
Were they capable of that, Al Qaeda?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Number two, the CIA was the guilty party here because the CIA did know that the hijackers were in the United States. The CIA didn't tell the FBI. Now remember, the CIA can only operate overseas. The FBI can only operate in the United States. The CIA is not permitted to make a recruitment inside the United States. The FBI has to make the recruitment. But the CIA and the FBI hated each other so much that the CIA never told the FBI that the hijackers were in the United States. And the FBI never told the CIA that they had intelligence that the hijackers were going to use the airplanes as the weapons. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, of course I understand what you mean. So that information was already there.
It was there. It's that it wasn't shared.
It wasn't connected, wasn't shared.
Right. And in fact, it wasn't until 2009 that the CIA and the FBI had compatible computer systems.
Before that, they just had to manually share.
Exactly. But they hated each other, so they didn't even do that. In 2002, when I was in Pakistan, just pushing ahead for a minute, if I wanted to write a cable, I wrote cables all day, every day. You have to inform headquarters what you're doing. But if I had to write a cable, I would say to CIA headquarters, to this office, that office, and the other office, add CC to the White House, to the State Department, to the Defense Department. I could not send a cable to the FBI.
Wow.
The system just couldn't handle it. It would be like me saying CC to Faisal. You don't have a CIA computer. You can't receive this cable. The FBI couldn't receive the cable. And similarly, the FBI could only send cables to other FBI offices. They couldn't send it to anybody else.
So there was a gap in communications.
A terrible one, a deadly one. Wow. A deadly one that resulted in the murder of 3,000 Americans in one day.
Mossad, were they involved?
Wow, he went there.
My own personal belief is yes. Not necessarily in a direct way. We've all heard the story of the dancing Israelis.
Yeah.
They were arrested and they were held for
So for context for the listener.
Yeah. So there was a van load of Israeli citizens that were arrested in New York City several days before 9/11. They were taking pictures of the World Trade Center. But they were doing it in this odd way and taking pictures of other sensitive targets in lower Manhattan. It's not a crime to take pictures in the United States. And so they were eventually released. They were all Israeli citizens. And they kept saying, we're the good guys. We're the good guys. We're Israelis. We're with you. They were released. But then on 9/11, there was a larger group of Israeli citizens who were dancing in the streets, right? Because we had been attacked. Now, they knew, the reason why they were dancing is because they knew how the United States would react.
So they were celebrating the reaction.
They were celebrating the reaction. We're going to go out and we're going to kill 1 million Muslims, which is exactly what happened. The number may be 2 million if you count in Afghanistan. If you count in Iraq. And so they were arrested and they were held for 100 days. Now, many of them had direct ties to the Israeli government. That has led me to believe that the Israelis were not involved with Al-Qaeda in the planning.
I would agree.
I believe the Israelis had infiltrated Al-Qaeda. They knew that the attack was coming. They knew that would be good for Israel. And so they allowed the attack to happen. And every time we would ask the Israelis, do you know anything about this group? They would say, no, we don't know anything. Of course they knew. The Israelis are the best intelligence service in the world.
Are they better than the CIA?
I think they are. Yeah. They're certainly deadlier.
Wow.
What do you mean?
You know, in the CIA, we have laws that are not always respected, but we have pretty clear laws on assassinations. Between 1975 and September 11th, 2001, it was illegal for the CIA to assassinate anybody. And it's because the CIA used to assassinate all kinds of people before 1975, killing world leaders, overthrowing governments. We had to stop that. And so 1975, President Gerald Ford signed Executive Order 12333. And it said, you cannot kill people, period. A couple of days after September 11th, President Bush amended 12333 to allow political assassinations if the target of the assassination poses what is called a clear and present danger to the United States. And what's that mean?
What, y'all? He just gave us some hella tea. Israeli intelligence is more deadly than the CIA. So where did we go wrong? Frankly, if it takes taking people out, then we got to do what we got to do. That's why Israeli is more deadly, because they have no laws. They will go to whatever extreme they have to basically shape the future as they see fit. Whether it's taking out a leader, taking out government's officials, you name it. Wow. Dude, that's why I love his content right there, y'all. That's why I love his content right there. So I originally planned on rolling to some other clips, but I figured I'd give you a couple more clips of CIA John here because he's just so fascinating. So take a listen to this. It's about Ellen DeGeneres' girlfriend, Anne Heche, and her untimely death. Take a listen.
was that the CIA can intercept anything from anyone, number one. Number two, they can remotely take control of your car through the car's embedded computer. To do what? To make you drive off a bridge, into a tree, to make you kill yourself and make it look like an accident.
And this morning we have some sad news about actress Anne Hayes. She is in a coma after a car crash a week ago. And her family said last night she is not expected to survive.
Did she appear in any way inebriated or drunk or impaired?
She did not. She wasn't slurring her words. She had bright, beautiful blue eyes. She was just a sweet girl.
Right now, the LAPD is investigating Anne for misdemeanor DUI and hit and run. They're looking into what role drugs or alcohol may have played in the collision.
Broke up with her because she had a lot of money, or you broke up with her because...
I broke up with her because her goal was to have a lot of money, and mine was to find love, and hers was I want 60 billion. Good luck. Why do you think she tried to put me in an institution, folks? I have not rambled on about her for one single moment. For 20 years I have withheld my understanding. I have been canceled since the day I was born. I've been buried since the day I was born. Every single truth that I spoke, I was hit more, buried more, f***ed more, or despised more.
Because you're gonna have her wear it, and
all right.
Yo, Ella, we go so far back. You don't tell these people how far back we go.
I know, but I wear T-shirts. I don't know what that means. Anyway, all right, let's.
I mean,
you hold that.
Okay.
All right.
I got this tape too. If the joke didn't work,
No, it's okay.
I don't want no problems.
No, it's okay.
No, hold on. Hey, so cheers. Hey.
And apparently the helper, like her kind of helping hand Twitch in the show, he passed away not very long after Ann did. So yeah, Ellen's got a lot of dirty laundry. She's a very, very horrible person. Check out this next video.
I have to be careful how I say this. I got a cable saying that, okay, in a Middle Eastern country, there was a person who had been the head of that country's intelligence service. And he decided to flip and work for us. And somehow the leader of that country learned that he was working for us. He escaped.
Horrible.
All three of his sons were executed. He only had 3 sons. They were all executed. He was relocated to the United States, but he was destroyed.
Yeah, must be.
Destroyed. I got a cable in Washington saying that his brother had just arrived in Washington. I'm sorry, had just arrived in Athens. He had been hiding on a Libyan oil tanker, and he jumped over the side when it came into the port in Piraeus, Greece. And they said, he's not a source of ours, but we owe it to his brother to take care of him. So meet him. Here's the number the brother had given to us, and give him $5,000.
Pretty.
So I called him. I told him, I'm a friend of your brother, and let's meet at this cafe. So we met at the cafe, and I said, your brother is a hero, and it's sickening what happened to his sons. We're very sorry, but he told us that you were on this oil tanker. I wanted to give you this to just tide you over. Get yourself a hotel or something. I ended up meeting with him 3 times. And again, because his brother had done this great service to the CIA, we decided we're just going to give him a green card and let him relocate to the United States. Okay. I resigned in 2004, effective in early 2005. In 2007, I happened to be in Dulles Airport. I don't work for the CIA anymore. I'm going on a business trip. And I hear this voice say, John? And I looked and I said, oh, Mohammed? I said, you're in Washington? And he says, yeah, I got a job at the airport. I'm a baggage handler. And I said, you speak English? And he said, yeah, I'm an American now. I said, mashallah, I can't believe it. He said, yeah, I got the green card. You helped me out. And it was just so good to see him. I said, how's your brother? And he said, My brother and I don't talk anymore. We had a falling out, but everybody's good. Everybody's healthy. I was so happy to see him. I never saw him again, but I was glad that he landed on his feet.
The stories this guy has, the amount of things he has done and seen. And that's what he can tell us, y'all. Crazy. One more, and then we're on to the other content.
Who's building these bombs? It's him. He confessed to me. So the reason why he agreed to
be recruited
was because he really, really needed the money. He had gotten his girlfriend pregnant. They had a daughter. He's a bum. He's broke.
He's just a terrorist.
You can't make any money from terrorism. So I started paying him. And I was paying him pretty handsomely, too. And he was giving me good information, like operational information. And this terrorist group had sort of fallen out of fashion, and he became involved with a group of anarchists. And
what they wanted to do was just blow shit up.
For no reason other than to, shout,
"Yay, anarchy," right?
So he calls me one night, and it was late. It was like 11. And he did the, what we call the protocols. So, he's like, I said, hello. I knew it was him because I had...
And it cuts it off. On this next clip, a woman comes home from somewhere. I can't remember exactly where. It's like they were out for the day or something like that. Her and her husband. She comes home and she sees these literal, what looked to be bare footprints walking up to her door. They're flat-footed and it's snowing. So why are there bare footprints walking up to her door? And then seemingly they just turn around and walk back. She follows them, and the stride alone. Now, the footprint itself isn't anything that's just huge. It actually, to me, looks like I wouldn't say adolescent, but probably middle of the road, like a teenager, or maybe a female. But most likely, I would say probably more leaning towards a teenager-aged being. And she follows the footprints. Watch the stride. It is crazy how big of a stride. I don't know if it was running. It probably was, to be honest. And then it just literally, the feet print just stop. It's crazy. Check it out. Yeah. Look at the stride, y'all. You'll see here soon where they literally just vanished into thin air. Almost as if the thing went through a portal. Look at the stride. It's running at that point. Quite the trail. You can see it almost followed the same line. See, that's it's going back and forth. People are like, one foot's the other way and then one foot's backwards. No, it just ran the same line. Ran across the road, This thing went a long ways. But what's crazy is it went right up to her door.
And this is where they end.
They just stop abruptly. Interesting, eh? Interesting. All right, this next video is no longer a gentleman with us. Who is now. He is a really, really knowledgeable theorist, but I don't even really think it's much theory going on. He knows what he's talking about. Listen to what he says about MH370, where it's at, and why exactly they hijacked that plane or whatever. Listen to what he says. It's mind-blowing.
There's one of the most evil, vicious Navy bases in the history of the planet. They do stuff that would make look like Santa Claus. Diego Garcia.
So
wait.
Sorry.
Diego Garcia. That's where that first Malaysian plane is. That's where it landed. Had 4 scientists on it. Huh? 20 scientists, but 4 had filed for patents. It was Malaysia, but they worked out of Austin, Texas, for Texas Instruments. Right. And the ones behind that plane, Texas Instruments, the government, and Boeing, who made the plane. And everybody is stupid enough to believe that a plane almost a block long can just disappear. With the electronics we had,
no way.
All the technology we had. So we got 4 of those top scientists that had filed for patents worth $400 billion. Okay. So if 1, 2, 3 of us and your brother, 4, we filed for patents. And then here's a friend of yours who's with us. So 5 of us filed for patents. If we die before the patent is granted, then your brother, who wasn't on the plane with us, he owns them all. So those 4 scientists, and the 5th person was a Carlisle group. They own them all now. The patent was granted 3 days after the plane was lifted. Okay? And so what I'm saying is, this is a game, and if you can't follow that thread, then you don't see it.
That's crazy.
What were the patents for?
Huh?
What were the patents for?
Well, the patents was, you heard people talk about they're gonna one day inject you and can control you. Well, these guys come up with something, they don't have to inject you. They just put in this room and you come in and you smell it. That's what they were for.
Smart dust is what I'm thinking that he's talking about. Smart dust. And that would have been about the era that you first started hearing about smart dust. Very intriguing. That old boy knows a lot. So this next gentleman, he talks about Transformers, the Hoover Dam, and a little bit more, the Witwikis. It does kind of leave you wondering if maybe there wasn't some truth to that. Take a listen to what he says.
This is Megatron, and these are the glasses from the movie Transformers of Sam Witwicky's grandfather called Archibald Witwicky. Archibald goes to the Arctic Circle, which is in the North Pole, and while going on this expedition, Archibald falls through this ice into a cave, stumbles upon this giant in the ice, and it was Megatron. Megatron activates once it sees that there is a human in its vicinity and sears this image of its coordinates onto the glasses of Archibald Witwicky, blinding him at the same time. Later, he is imprisoned in a psychiatric ward because they say he went insane because he said he saw a giant in the ice. His grandson, Sam Witwicky, gets a hold of these glasses And they turn out to be exactly what his grandfather said. This technological, advanced being, biomechanical, giant Nephilim has now been activated and sends this signal out to all the other ones that are hiding in plain sight. They have the ability to shapeshift or transform into something that humans can recognize and go amongst us without being seen. Then they look for them, and the name of these particular entities are called Decepticons. They have the ability to communicate technologically at a speed that is beyond train of thought.
Wow.
In the computers. Right in the computers. Right through the cell phone. Right through these waves, these frequencies.
Yep.
And they try to find this leader that is buried. And they grab him, the military does, and they hide him under the Hoover Dam.
What?
This is quite a story, don't you think?
Pretty intriguing.
The military knows, they grab it, they put him in the Hoover Dam, and they extract technology from this particular being. Wow.
Pretty intense, y'all. All right, y'all. In this next video, this chick does a really good job of coming up with her own theory and talking about water in our country and the dams. The sheer number of dams in this country is unfathomable. 70,000 dams or something crazy like that. Then she talks about the flow of water and how water isn't actually meant to flow, or it's not supposed to flow, like essentially south. Which I've never heard that theory before, but she said based on the dams. I don't know. I'll let her explain it. Check out what she says.
Builds dams and floods them.
Yep. A while back I looked up how many man-made dams there are because I was digging deep trying to see. And look. Over 90,000 to 92,000 man-made dams in the U.S., Americas. And just to give y'all a glimpse of where these dams are located.
Wow.
Here you go. Giving you a visual. Notice all the little dark spots, the red spots.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, there's no red spots. Yeah, that's where the Grand Canyon is. So if y'all know me by now, y'all know I be analyzing and I be trying to put together the puzzles. So that last picture I showed you where all those dams were at, it cuts off the water flow that should be in those areas as the known deserts in America. And as y'all can see here, I drew the arrows of the water flow of these rivers, which isn't the natural water flow. Like if all those dams wasn't there, the flow would go upwards.
So what does that tell you guys? If the flow's supposed to go essentially up north. Rupes Negra, the North Pole, Four Rivers. If that's true, that would essentially be another argument for flat Earth. Just saying.
Look at this picture. You see all the green land? I circled it with the green. And then all the dry land. Because there's no water source going through there because of the dams.
That's wild.
I like to compare this to the veins in your body. If you don't have the proper flow of blood going through your veins, like the water that's going through these rivers, it's not going to have any circulation and then eventually die out, right? Same concept. Then I started thinking, what would have happened if the Grand Canyon was filled up with water?
This is legit.
And I was thinking, what color would it be?
Sorry, but it's annoying as F that she has that stupid thing in her mouth the whole video. Do better.
It would probably be like a Red Sea or something. And then California would probably
She has something there.
Sitting by itself. Like in Sheffield Part 2.
She may have something there. She may. That sounded legit. I didn't realize they manipulated the waterways that much. It's crazy, to be honest. This next video is going to be a quick one. I'm pretty sure it's AI, but I just thought it was really cool.
It's so by your side.
If not, that thing's massive. It seems like a little cold waters to be great white. I don't think it's legit. All right, y'all. So the other day, I was looking at Mars pictures on the Hisense Mars website, right? And y'all, the landscape is absolutely insane, for one. But for two, this is a region of Mars, and I believe it's actually the picture right at the top of the page when you get on the website. And I believe I may have found a crashed UFO. Check this out. You zoom in here, you can see the track. You can see my cursor here. You can see the track right there. See that? It keeps going, and there, I believe, is your UFO. Right there. Right there. Isn't that crazy? And you can see it, just a faint track. And I'm pretty sure that's the UFO. I don't think it's this unit down here, but it very well could be the unit at the bottom here. I'll play it back real quick one more time. So I'm wondering, it could be the one at the bottom down here, but I believe that is a crashed UFO for sure. And you should see all the beings, the corpses basically from all of these dead massive beasts on this at least area of land. I've been trying to figure out how to see it digitally better so I can kind of do some exploring and see what I could come up with, because Mars is crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, so this is allegedly people basically locked inside the containers. Super sad. You can definitely hear kids screaming. Horrifying, y'all. Horrifying. Oh, this is the creepiest picture, y'all. So apparently this girl here was going on a 100-mile plus long marathon run. She did it multiple times a year, and this particular time, usually her boyfriend goes with her, but this particular time, her boyfriend couldn't make it. So she had her friend go with her, and she was getting rather fatigued and asked her friend to start running with her. And her friend had a GoPro on her, was filming. And as she was running by this certain area, all of a sudden she got like really bad ankle pains, this like jutting ankle pain. And she basically had to stop and pull out of the race. But they looked back on the photos and they were sending them to her mom. Her friend was, and they spotted this in one of the photos. And what's crazy is when you see it, it's a live photo and you can literally see it step up. Many are saying it's a night walker, but it doesn't even seem like night. But nevertheless, super creepy. Gives me chills even looking at it. Hopefully I took a shot and actually show you the video of it walking up. Yeah, you see that? So creepy, y'all. So creepy. So yeah, she doesn't ever remember seeing her there or anything like that. She just has no recollection of what that was. Creepy. So this is allegedly the U.S. military flying a Bigfoot out of the Georgia wilderness. Take a look.
Video was sent in to us and is a very interesting one. It shows what appears to be two military-style helicopters airlifting a giant Sasquatch across the vast wilderness of Georgia. As you can see in this video, the gentleman in his car stops to film and is talking about the military or maybe in the U.S. government capturing a Bigfoot and airlifting it out of the area. As you can see here in this shot, there's a zoom-in close-up of the creature, and it looks like a big-body creature. If you look at the size comparison here, the big-body creature is pretty gigantic compared to the scale of the helicopter. So this is a giant creature, whatever it is. But is it Bigfoot? The jury's still out, as
always. What do you
always.
guys think? It looks like if it was a person, wouldn't they just put him on the chopper? That looks like a massive, massive being. Could be Bigfoot, could be a giant. Either or.
So is it Bigfoot or BS? Let us know in the comments.
Take a listen to what she says about the medical industry and why and what happened after we left the World Health Organization.
The United States distanced themselves and pulled themselves out of the World Health Organization. And in that time, all of a sudden, scientists from countries all over the world are announcing that they've found cures for cancer, Alzheimer's, HPV. Japanese scientists have used regenerative medicine to restore motor function in paralyzed patients. In China, scientists reversed Alzheimer's in mice, and I saw follow-up news saying that for the first time in 100 years, Alzheimer's may now be reversible because of this progress in science. In Vietnam, doctors use stem cells to cure leukemia. Brazilian researchers discover an earwax test that may be able to detect cancer before tumors form in your body. A team of Korean scientists reversed colon cancer. Mexican scientists successfully eliminated HPV. Doctors in Cuba developed a lung cancer vaccine. And Russia announced that its new cancer vaccine showed 100% success in clinical trials and is now ready for clinical use.
What is
honestly,
going on?
more power to these scientists. But isn't that something? Isn't it weird? It's almost like the country that loves running people into medical debt because they see healthcare as a business and not a human right didn't want some of the most expensive diseases on the market to be treatable.
Who's she talking about?
Interesting how that worked out.
Joke. This is a woman who lives in China. Watch how easy it is for her and how low cost it is for her to get her medical treatment.
American in China right now, and I'm at the hospital because I need to get some medicine, and I'm going to share the experience with you guys. This is where you grab a number. You just need to give them your passport. It doesn't matter if you're living in here, what kind of visa you are on. Anybody can go to a Chinese public hospital. Right now it's 2:17 p.m. and I'm going to show you guys the cost of the whole process and then also the timing.
个专家号还是普通号？
普通号。
普通的是50。
50 Okay, it's about $7 to see the doctor.
放在这儿，放在这儿就可以。
好的。 And then I just use my WeChat pay code over here, and I put this up and I scan. And then there we go. It's 50 kwai to see the doctor. Okay, so this hospital actually has so many different departments. You've got gynecology. I think they spelled that wrong though. Surgical department, neurosurgery, anesthesia, oncology, rheumatology. And this is just one of thousands and thousands of hospitals that are here in the city that you can just show up to without an appointment and see a doctor for around $7.
Could you imagine it in this country? Could you imagine it? Life-changing.
The time is 2:26, and I go up to this machine, and I scan. How do I scan it? And I scan my code. There we go. And then it puts me up onto the machine. It's been 1 minute, and I'm already up there, ready to go in. Okay, it is 2:31, and I've already seen the doctor and gotten my prescription. Let's go down to the pharmacy, which is inside of this same hospital, and see how long it takes for the medicine to come out. Okay, so the first step is I need to go pay for it. The total of the prescription was 37 kwai, which I'm pretty sure is like... 你好，要付费的。37 kwai, which I'm pretty sure is like $5 for the whole prescription, plus the $7 to see the doctor. I'll do the math later. I think it's $12. Okay, now that I've paid the $5, I'm taking my code.
This should make us all
and then
very angry.
Now I'm officially lined up. And I think that in a second, my name might pop up here at one of these. Okay, it's been less than a minute and my name is already up there, and I can give them my prescriptions. Here we go, up there. You can see the time, 2:36. Yeah, there we go. And then I've got the medicine and I'm ready to walk out of here. So from 2:17 until 2:36, 19 minutes. And I did everything that I needed to do, and the cost was $12 here at a Chinese public hospital. How much would it cost where you are? And oh, by the way, I did all of this without insurance.
This is a crazy video of a gentleman who's working on his farm, I guess, and clearing some forest when a Bigfoot sneaks up behind him and kind of starts spying on him. Pretty cool. He's right here. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? That's spooky or what? See him double take? He spotted it. Freaky deaky. Freaky deaky. Anybody who's ever seen a Bigfoot, comment below your experience. I'd love to hear it.
Is this really Bigfoot or is it BS? You decide.
I think it's legit. So this guy kind of more or less has some very insightful stuff to say about AI and how they are using it to create a race of beings in the future that are totally submissive, totally compliant, and more or less full-on slaves.
Fucking I don't even have words for what I'm even what is going through my mind right now. Please watch this video to the very end. Might be a little bit all over the place, but I promise you, towards the end, everything is going to come together. The dots will connect. These motherfuckers were we know what they were doing with these kids. We know that they were raping these kids, trafficking these kids. But it's way more. I think that they want us to focus on that, honestly. I'm starting to believe they want our attention on that. Because this is so much deeper. This is so much bigger than just that. And I'm not trying to take away from the severity of child. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't want this video to get censored at all. But this was like an experiment on humanity, on us, on gaining control, on psychological. I'm bugged the fuck out, guys. I saw somebody on TikTok yesterday make a video about how they were going through the files and they saw a specific set of files that were repeatedly talking about time travel. It piqued my interest and I put time travel in the Epstein, in the DOJ, and I found this file. And then I found more files. And I found a file about an event that had all these scientists and all these super smart people that study pattern recognition, literally the human mind, psychology, AI. That's a big thing. Just let me get to it. Something called mental time travel. And I'm not talking about going in the past, going in the future in some magic hot tub. I'm not talking about that type of time travel. I'm talking about mental time travel. Mental time travel is the cognitive ability to project one's mind backwards to re-experience past events or forward to imagine future scenarios. Yeah. Just follow along with me. The real conspiracy here is not about literal time travel, but about who gets to decide the future. This whole thing was a study on humanity, and they started with the children because they are the most vulnerable and they can literally have a fresh timeline on what works on us and what doesn't work on us. This whole thing is about control. These elites knew they were losing control and they needed a way to control us. These are the topics that were discussed during this event. Evolution of pattern recognition, brain development, advanced cognition, myth making, psychiatric disorders, artificial intelligence, the future of humanity. Let me read one line from this email that gave me chills. It's listed as number 7, which is the last topic that they discussed during this event. And that's the implications of a better understanding of the brain and its pattern processing mechanisms for the future of computing and the future of our species. The fucking name of this whole event is Creativity to Madness, Mental Processing in Human and Machine Brains. Honestly, we should all be concerned with fucking ChatGPT and all these fucking AIs that we use on a daily basis that are basically just fucking copying our fucking brain, our fucking thoughts, our fucking pattern recognitions. Number 4 was the mental fabrication of non-existing entities, such as gods and ghosts. I mean, I've been woke to religion and I don't know if you're picking up what I'm putting down, but Jeffrey Epstein was a businessman. He had no place in hosting these events where there are neuroscientists.
That doesn't make any sense. It never has.
Artificial intelligence and
he's not that smart.
Psychiatric. It's so much deeper than a child S ring. I'm gonna make another video because I want to really break this down in a way that people will really understand and grasp what I'm saying, and super edit it with the screenshots and snippets. If you want to look at the file yourself, it's EFTA.
There you go, guys.
02694-754.
It runs deep, fam. It's truly scary.
I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised. A lot of us already knew this, but to see it in writing is fucking insane. Not to say we're focusing on the wrong things, but honestly, I think that's where they want us to be, because if more people knew about this and really understood, I think we would collapse the fucking system. For real, I'm actually freaked the fuck out. I'm freaked the fuck out, and I have chills.
Everybody's got the bystander effect.
They talk about DNA and genetics and like I said, pattern recognition, and then I think about things like the Mandela effects and how if the masses, if they can trick the masses into thinking something was like that in the past, then the few of us that stand up and say no, that's not what it was, that's not how I recall it, we're the fucking crazy ones. And that's exactly what they want. And that's just exactly the type of DNA that they want. They want people that they can easily manipulate. I'm just I can't. I'm gonna gather myself, and I'm gonna do a video, very, very organized, very clean, not all over the place. But I just needed to get this out there. Seriously, this shit is another level.
That video went the most viral is. And here we have Pat McAfee.
Well, if you want,
basically saying that he bugged all the computers that he gave the White House and ended up finding out a bunch of crazy information. Take a listen.
Not in 6 years since I left police have I ever stated why.
Do you want to?
Absolutely.
Okay, well then you're welcome.
Okay, so when I went on the run in Belize, I had friends in the U.S. Embassy in Belize. I knew what was coming down. I'm not stupid. I had arranged with the head of security. I was going to come in. He said, "Sir, we have it from the highest authority. We are not to allow you entry into the U.S. Embassy." Understand me. Who was the highest authority of the State Department? Hillary Clinton. I'm an American citizen with a f***ing American passport. I'm sorry. I'm not wanted in America. I've got no crimes in America. Is it not a reason to say, I don't think I'm going to vote for you?
And yet you're here now.
For a month and a half, I was on the run. The reason that the government wanted to collect me was that after they had raided my property in 2012 in the jungle, shot my dog, abused me, destroyed $500,000 worth of my property over a bogus charge, I was pissed off. And so I donated to many secretaries within the government laptop computers, really nice ones that were
slick,
preloaded with viral spyware. Within a week, the entire government computer system was under my control. I was watching, monitoring, listening. I was looking for information that they had set me up for that raid. I didn't find that. I did find out that the Minister of National Defense was the largest drug trafficker in all of Central America. And the Minister of Immigration, the largest human trafficker.
We don't want to get killed by them either, so we're probably not going to.
That's fine.
Wow. Then he ended up dying here in Florida, I think. Oh, no, by unaliving in a Spanish jail cell. I thought a building collapsed on him or something. No, the building collapsed on his apartment, or like collapsed on a place where he had a bunch of computers or something like that. I hope you enjoyed all of these clips and videos. I hope you enjoyed the CIA John stuff and a little background information on him. Hey, man, I told y'all I'm coming back full force. I'm going to keep on posting, keep on bringing you that fresh content. Hope you enjoyed again. Make sure you come back next time. Stay in the love, stay in the light. Be kind to others. I am out.